Calling to order the hearing on the Committee of Labor and Tourism. Today is Tuesday, February 9th. We're at 9:45, conference room 312. We're here to hear, to have, to hear four bills. Um, before we meet, before we start, uh, I just wanted to do some housekeeping. Recess. We're reconvening the meeting of the Committee on Labor and Tourism. I just wanted to read some housekeeping. This year, due to the pandemic, all hearings will be live streamed via Zoom, so please make sure that the volume on your laptops and your phones are all turned to silent. We'll be hearing testimony in the following order: federal, state, and county agencies, industry groups, and individuals. When you come up to testify, please state your name and agency that you represent. In order to allow for as many people to testify as possible, there'll be a 2-minute time limit per testifier. Because morning hearings are adjourned prior to the noon floor schedule, not all testifiers may have the opportunity to testify. In that event, please know that your written testimony will be considered by the committee. Please keep yourself muted and your video off while waiting to testify after your testimony after your testimony is complete. The Zoom chat function will allow you to chat with the technical staff only. Please use the chat only for technical issues. If you are disconnected unexpectedly, you may attempt to rejoin the meeting. If disconnected while presenting testimony, you may be allowed to continue if time permits. Please note the House is not responsible for any bad internet connection on the testifier's end. In the event of catastrophic network failure, it may be necessary to reschedule the hearing or schedule a meeting for decision making. In that case, an appropriate notice will be posted. Please refrain from profanity or uncivil behavior. Such behavior may be grounds for removal from the hearing without the ability to rejoin. Okay, members, first on the agenda is HB 1066 relating to criminal history record checks. Adds the University of Hawaii to the list of agencies that are authorized to conduct criminal history record checks on current or prospective employees, including student employees and contractors and their employees whose positions or duties are related to public safety. First up to testify is Kim Hashiro from the University of Hawaii.
Hi, good morning. Kim Hashiro, University of Hawaii. We stand on our testimony in support of this bill, and I'm available if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. We also have in support Raiko Wada from DHERD. Members, are there any questions? If not, let's move on to the second bill. It's HB 125 relating to the Uniform Employee and Student Online Privacy Protection Act. Establishes the Uniform Employee and Student Online Privacy Protection Act that adopts uniform laws on protecting the online accounts of employees, prospective employees, unpaid interns, applicants, students, and prospective students from employers and educational institutions. First up to testify is Brooke Connor from the Department of Education.
Aloha, Chair, members. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. I'm Brooke Connor from the Department of Education. We're standing on our written testimony in support and, of course, are available with any questions.
Thank you. Next up, Robin Wurzel from the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission.
We stand on our written testimony in support.
Thank you, Robin. Next up, Peter Hamasaki from the Commission to Promote Uniform Legislation.
Good morning, Peter Hamasaki, State of Hawaii Commission to Promote Uniform Legislation. We're in support of HB 125, which enacts a uniform law to protect private student and employee information, and we're available if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Members, those are all the testifiers. Anybody have any questions? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to the next bill. Behind it. I got it. The next bill is HB 1253 relating to employment practices. Prohibits an employer from one, requiring an employee to download a mobile application to the employee's personal communication device that enables the employee's location to be tracked or their personal information revealed. Two, terminating or otherwise discriminating against an employee for refusing to download a mobile application on their personal device. Or three, discharging or discriminating against an employee for filing a complaint concerning these unlawful practices. First up to testify is Deputy Vinihar from the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. I'm not sure if we're having technical difficulties, but we stand on our written testimony providing comments and are available for questioning. Thank you.
Okay, and members, we have late testimony from Amber Kutos, Maui Chamber of Commerce with comments. That's all the testimony, members. Are there any questions? Okay, if not, we're moving on to the last bill, which is HB 90, HD1. As you recall, this was a short form bill that we amended. This relating to government, transfers the state fire control for administrative purposes from DLIR to DCCA, places the boiler and safety law under the jurisdiction of DCCA rather than DLIR, and creates a boiler and elevator safety appeals board. Transfers administration of the Human Trafficking Victim Services Fund from DLIR to the judiciary. First up to testify is Director Estaquino from DLIR.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. We stand on our written testimony and are available for any questions. Thank you.
Next up is Catherine Alcuni Colon from DCCA.
Good morning, Chair Onishi, Vice Chair Sayama, and members of the committee. Kat Awakuni Cologne on behalf of DCCA. We submitted our testimony respectfully opposing this measure. I will caution the committee against the sort of drip, drip, drip of watering down consumer protection mission of the department. As we had seen with the last economic downturn, whenever there are these kinds of economic downturns, either desperate or sort of bad acting licensees or bad acting, con artists will either engage in unlawful acts or scams or those kinds of things. And so I just want to ensure that our mission for consumer protection really is kept intact, because that is sorely needed at this point. In addition, as noted at the very end of our testimony, it is a challenge for us to take on a generally funded program because of the way that our department is funded. So each and every program has a special fund with fees that account for that running of that provision or program. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Director. And members, we have written testimony from Damian Elefante with the Labor and Industrial Relations Appeal Board with comments. Members, any questions? Okay, if not, we're going to recess for decision making. We're reconvening the hearing of the Labor and Tourism Committee on our first bill, which is HB 1066. On this, we are going to be passing the bill out with a defective date of December 25th, 2020. Members, 2040. Members, any questions? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass HB 1066 with amendments. Chair, Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Bellotti.
Aye.
Representative Holt. Aye. Representative Kobayashi.
Aye.
Representative Quinlan. Excused. Representative Takayama. Aye. Representative Okimoto.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation passes.
Thank you. Next bill is HB 125. We're going to be making the following changes. We're going to defect the date to December 25th, 2040. Make some changes for consistency purposes by amending paragraphs 4 and 5 on page 10 to track paragraphs 4 and 5 on page 16, and making technical amendments necessary for clarity, consistency, and style. Members, any questions? Okay, there are none. Vice Chair for the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass HB 125 with amendments, noting Representative Quinlan's excuse. Any members present, vote nay. Any members present, vote with reservations. Chair, your recommendation passes.
Thank you. HB 1253, due to comments made by DLIR regarding the violations for this provision, we're going to remove the enforcement mechanism and add language that will allow employees who allege violations to bring a civil action for injunctive relief or actual damages or both, and defecting the date to December 25th, 2040. Members, questions? Not. Vice Chair for the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass HB 1253 with amendments, noting Representative Quinlan's excuse. Any members present, vote no. With reservations. Okay, Chair, your recommendation passed.
Thank you. Finally, HB 90, HD1, we'll be making the following changes. We will be adding a new section to state that all rules, policies, guidelines, etc., that are adopted by DLIR to implement provisions in HRS that is applicable to the boiler and elevator safety law in effect on the effective date of this act will remain in full force and effective until amended or repealed by the Director of DCCA. Also, that in the interim, every reference to the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations or its director will be amended to refer to the Department of Commerce or the Commerce and Consumer Affairs and its director. We're going to change the word commission on page 37, line 16 to appeals board. We will insert language to make it clear that all monies currently in the boiler and elevator revolving fund as it exists in chapter 397 will be transferred to the boiler and elevator new revolving fund under DCCA. In light of the testimony provided by the chair of the Labor and Industrial Appeals Board, we'll be including the suggested language for Part 3, Section 8 for clarification purposes. And we'll also be defecting the date to December 25th, 2040. Members, any questions? Okay, if not, Vice Chair for the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass HB 90 HD1 with amendments, noting Representative Quinlan's excuse. Any members present, vote no. Voting with reservations. Thank you, Chair. Your recommendations passed.
Thank you, members. The hearing is adjourned.